It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, today I'm going to start a new series here, and we're going to have a few episodes on this subject. But earlier last week, I talked about 9-Star, and we all know 9-Star is a Chinese company that owns Lexmark and Pantone printers with some other assets in our space. And you know, folks, when I really started digging into this and really started thinking about our industry, I've come to the conclusion that the OEMs are not going to merge or buy each other. And if they were going to do that, they would have already done it. You might have some of that, but I think it's going to be a really small play in that space. The big consolidation is going to be manufacturing. I believe all the OEMs are going to consolidate the manufacturing to one or two people in the world. That's it. And those organizations are going to manufacture all the printers, all the copiers, and all the MFPs. And then they will manufacture a brand. So you'll still have your Canon brand and your Fuji brand and your Lexmark brand and your Sharp brand and your Toshiba brand and your Ricoh brand. But all those brands, well, they'll just be made in a couple places in the world. And I assure you it's not going to be in the fields out in Nebraska. I don't see it happening. I believe the manufacturing will definitely stay in Asia. And this will open up conversations more broadly around security and all that other stuff. And we'll get to that in other episodes. We'll talk about geopolitics in other episodes. But today what I want to talk about is who could be the players that could actually manufacture all the copiers, all the printers, and all the MFPs. Well, we already know that 9-Star's trying to do it. That's what they want. They're building a 900,000 square meter facility in Zhuhai, China, right? We see it. We saw it. I did the episode on it. They're buying all kinds of assets, right? We also see Foxconn. Foxconn bought Sharp Electronics a while back. Remember that? Foxconn did a deal with HP and took over all the Samsung assets that were in China. So we see Foxconn working with HP. We see Foxconn working with Sharp. Will Foxconn start making other MFPs and other copy machines? Foxconn is the largest manufacturer in the world. Couldn't they make Canons? Couldn't they make Ricohs? Could they make Toshibas? Folks, I think we need to think really hard about this because this is where we're going. And I also think we need to learn from the OEMs. Because as the OEMs consolidate manufacturing, dealers must consolidate the amount of equipment that they're selling. The days of having 15 different OEMs are long over. The only way you're going to cut your cost and control your cost is to limit the OEMs that you're representing into the marketplace. That's just a fact of life. But folks, you see the main players. We got Canon, Kyocera, Ricoh, Fuji, Sharp, Toshiba, kind of coming over to HP. We got distributors involved in all of this, right? We got the Tech Datas of the world. We also have dealers out there that sell to the end users. And then, of course, we got the largest dealer in the world, Xerox. And I'll always say that they're the largest dealer in the world because that's what they are. They don't manufacture very little stuff. Most of the stuff they're selling today is coming from where? Fujifilm, right? You folks, you know, I've said this before, but I think that Xerox and Fujifilm are going to figure this thing out. Xerox is Fujifilm's largest customer. We know that Fujifilm wants to come to the United States. It's not a secret. And at the end of the day, they're not going to come here from the ground up. They have to come here with a footprint. Otherwise, it would be nonsensical. And so where will that footprint come from? Well, they might as well keep the one they got with Xerox. But folks, I want you to think about all these other OEMs and who's going to make their stuff. You know, there's this award that goes out every year. We all know them, right? The Frankie Awards or Frank Award. And he has different categories. And I just wanted to pull up this one category because I think this is interesting and it's going to change the way we think in our industry. Because it says right here, best A4 manufacturer. And the nominees, if you will, are Kyocera Document Solutions, Ricoh USA, Sharp Imaging Information Company of America. And of course, what I find interesting about that in its own right is that Kyocera Document Solutions America doesn't make any machines. Kyocera Corporation makes the machines. Kyocera Document Solutions America is a marketing arm of Kyocera. Same with Ricoh. Same with Sharp. But at the end of the day, if Kyocera wins that award, they definitely manufacture A4 equipment. But if Sharp or Ricoh win that award, does that award really go to 9-Star? Because 9-Star is actually the manufacturer, right? We know that Sharp also sells Lexmark branded equipment, right? But they're with the Sharp name on it, so we get that, right? Ricoh does the same thing. We get that, right? So I think in the future, we're going to have to say best A4 brand because the brands will sell equipment that others will manufacture. And the brands themselves, if you think about a corporation like Sharp, they got all kinds of other products that they're marketing, right? They got the board I'm using here today as an example. Okay, they got the Dynabook sitting here on my table. You know, our friends over there at Ricoh, you know, Ricoh's a pretty heavy print company. Okay, you know, could they outsource their manufacturing as they start to build up more IT services with their aspirations they have with like Mindshift? Same with Konica with their aspirations of all covered. You know, so it's just something to think about. It's not about a manufacturer. It's really going to be about a brand. It really is. What's the best A4 brand? And then the manufacturer, well, it could be 9-Star, it could be Foxconn, maybe it's Canon. Because folks, I mean, who are the contenders to do this? I mean, who really could manufacture all the MFPs, printers, and copiers in the world? We already know 9-Star is well on their way. 900,000 square meter facility there in Zhuhai, China. That's their aspiration. They're out there buying up all kinds of assets, the Phantom printer, the Lexmark printer. And so, you know, Foxconn's the world's largest manufacturer. They could easily do it. They're already doing Sharp stuff, HP stuff, right? So, I mean, it's not far-fetched to see them really exploding in this avenue, right? Canon makes a whole lot of print equipment. Canon also does a whole lot of other things. Does Canon want to, you know, divest themselves of manufacturing print equipment? Remember I think it was a couple of days ago, I did the video on HP. And I was talking about how they have 50,000 employees and they do $63 billion in revenue. And I was like, this is just crazy. The amount of revenue per employee is off the chart compared to everybody else because everybody else has manufacturing. Everybody else has a lot of employees. Best place to cut cost is where? Well, people and parts. Does it not make sense for the OEMs to finally say, you know what? You're going to make our brand for us. Folks, this is reality. It's going to happen, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen within the next 2 years. You're going to start seeing this ramp up. And folks, there's proof out there. You know, back in 2019, I had the pleasure to go to Zhuhai, China, and give a presentation at the RE/MAX Summit. And folks, it was interesting because right around that same time, Konica and 9-Star were having a meeting, and it was kind of the talk of the town, man. I actually did a video on this, and you can find this on 9-Star's website. It's no secret out there. But back in August of 2019, 9-Star and Konica Minolta held a strategic meeting in Zhuhai, China. The two parties have reached strategic alignment to further cooperations in products, markets, and other areas, which shall strengthen product competitiveness for both parties and help fulfill customer demand in all perspectives. Since 2016, 9-Star and Konica have formed a strategic alliance and have close collaboration on A3 copiers, A4 printers, 3D printers, as well as integrated circuit products. So folks, they're already talking, okay? And Konica's not the only one talking to 9-Star, I assure you. And so, look at here. HP outsourced China laser printer production to Foxconn. The manufacturing is going to be in Asia. The manufacturing is going to be limited. I think two players could make all the printers and copiers in the whole damn world. And that's all we need. And they might sell them under a brand. Dealers might still have the brand. But the manufacturing is going to be somewhere totally different. And folks, it only makes sense. It's a declining marketplace. It's a declining marketplace. It's going to happen. I mean, we're consolidating manufacturing with things that are growing. Okay? So we're surely going to consolidate manufacturing with products that are declining. I mean, it's just logical. It only makes sense. And so, you know, just remind y'all, here's 9-Star, 900,000 square meter facility. There's all their assets. Interesting about 9-Star is that when they start manufacturing, they were buying up all this stuff, so they own it all. In the very near future, I believe they'll do partnerships with OEMs, and they'll start making the OEMs products. It's going to happen. And we'll see if Foxconn, you know, cranks that up. We'll see if Canon decides to crank it up. Folks, so many changes have to come to our industry. But one thing's for sure, there has to be a consolidation. Dealers have to pay attention to it. Dealers need to consolidate themselves because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo. There'll be more on this next week.